the latest edition of Seller's Corner, your go-to place for all things reselling. I'm Erin, product specialist at Vendoo, and today we're going to talk about the menswear fashion marketplace, Grailed. But before we do, let me invite you to subscribe to our channel. We publish content every week, and it's all related to Vendoo product tips, community updates, and information about how to scale and grow your resale business. This video is the holy grail of everything that you need to know to get started selling on Grailed. How to create an account, how to list your items for sale, shipping, fees, returns, and of course, some tips and tricks. If you're interested in getting started, be sure to check out the blog that I wrote, The Holy Grailed, to learn more about Grailed. We'll link that below. Grailed is a place for men's fashion, with best sellers being designer, sneakers, streetwear, and vintage. Grailed has approximately 7 million users and over 3 million product listings. It offers a very large and international audience. How do you create a Grailed account? Creating an account is super easy. You can create a Grailed account from the mobile app or the website in just a couple moments. However, you will also need a PayPal account. So if you don't have one, you'll have to create one because Grailed uses PayPal to handle their transactions. What can you sell on Grailed? Grailed is for the boys. It is your place for menswear. Although women's wear is allowed to be sold on Grailed, but it doesn't have any categories. So perhaps if you have some items that might pass as unisex, it's great to put those up there. Fashion is becoming more and more genderless, but I wouldn't necessarily be in a rush to get my dresses listed because Grailed is known as a men's marketplace. You can sell anything that fits in their categories, which are currently men's footwear, tops, outerwear, bottoms, tailoring, which is suits and formal wear, and men's fashion accessories. Grailed has markets that they categorize the different brands and designers that they feature by. So the first and most luxurious market is high-end designers. Top-selling brands on Grailed that are high-end designers include Rick Owens, Saint Laurent, Raf Simons, APC, Maison Margiela, Acne, Comme des Garçons, I think I pronounced that correctly, Balmain, Undercover, Gucci, and more. The next are hype brands. These are brands that are highly anticipated, that often release collections that drop, and they're just always hot, including Jordans, Yeezy, Supreme, Palace, Bape, BBC, and more. The next market is the sartorial market, and that's a place for high-end classics like Bruno Cuccielli, Loro Piana, Tom Ford, Alden, Crockett & Jones, Drake's, and more. And then finally, your bread and butter classic men's items, those are referred to as core items. Those include mainstream brands like J. Crew, Levi's, Polo, Ralph Lauren, Tommy Hilfiger, H&M, Zara, and kind of your mall brands. So there is a market and category for everything, and those that I just listed are pretty much your Grailed bolos. Listing on Grailed is super fast. It's pretty much like listing everywhere else. Of course, when you're using Vendoo to cross-list your items to Grailed, it's even faster. When you list on Grailed, you will upload photos. As always, the more the better. The cleaner and the more well lit, the better. You'll provide some information with their prompts and drop downs that are specific to the item. Of course, you'll select the brand, the condition, the size, and the category. You will write a description, and you have up to 10 hashtags on Grailed, so use those wisely. Grailed also has a measurements field. So it's not just putting the measurements in the description, but there is an entire field that pops up for measurements. Measurements are big on Grailed. Definitely include those. Then you'll just enter your price and your shipping item and list away. How does shipping work on Grailed? Well, you have options. Like many platforms, you can elect to ship with Grailed or you can ship on your own. If you ship with Grailed, then you get the prepaid label from Grailed emailed to you. They have pretty good rates. Honestly, the rates are decent. You can ship up to 20 pounds for $15 to any US territory. That's like crazy good, especially for heavy items. Or you can elect to ship on your own. When you ship on your own, you can use a service like Pirate Ship, Shippo, or Sendle, and that allows you to select the carrier as well. So in addition to USPS, you could use FedEx or UPS if you prefer. You actually have to ship on your own if the items are over 20 pounds. Shipping on your own requires that you provide the tracking information and be mindful of the amount of insurance that might or might not be included with whichever method you choose. Grailed also offers international shipping to some countries, vastly expanding your audience exposure and opportunity. Grailed fees. How much does Grailed take? Well, it's a little bit complicated. I'll start by saying there is no fee to have a Grailed account and no fee to list on Grailed. That said, calculating the commission can be tough because buyers can pay with PayPal. So Grailed's fee is 9% of the final sale price. However, when buyers pay with PayPal, you're also subjected to the PayPal fees as a seller. So the current PayPal fees are 2.9% plus 30 cents, but those are always changing. So when you're thrifting and deciding if an item is worth it, you can roughly calculate that fees are approximately 15%, but they are lower than that. That's just a safe percent to consider. But when you actually calculate, it'll be 9%, perhaps adding the PayPal fee as well. What is Grailed's return policy? No returns are allowed. That said, a buyer does receive protection in the event that they don't receive their order, it's not authentic, or it's not as described. So like everywhere else, be sure that you are accurate, honest, and transparent in your descriptions. You do have to remember that because PayPal facilitates the Grailed transactions, the buyer not only receives protection from Grailed, but from PayPal as well. But you know what? So do you as a reseller. You have protections against unfair chargebacks and situations of scam or fraud. Here are some of my best Grailed tips. I got quite a few of these from Josh at Get Dizzy Store, one of the Vendoo founders and a Grailed seller. First is consistency. Like every other platform, the reselling platforms love consistency. Listing regularly or relisting, using Vendoo is the easiest, is the best way to maximize your exposure, to feed the algorithm, and to make more sales. The next is to do your research. Josh explains that for high fashion or certain streetwear brands, knowing the name of the style or perhaps the collection can be really important. So take the time to learn the release year, the style name, and provide all of that information when applicable. Next is to price skillfully. Don't be afraid to price a little high on Grailed. When you do comp research across platforms, I'm always surprised because the Grailed comps are pretty high. You can always negotiate and accept offers later, but if you don't price high, you can't make an outright sale for that high price. And finally is to offer international shipping. If you offer international shipping, of course, you're expanding your audience internationally. That one's a no-brainer. Do you sell on Grailed? If you have any tips and tricks, drop them below. Be sure to check out the Holy Grailed blog article for more in-depth information about this hot platform. If you liked this video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you next time, reseller friends. Happy selling!